What's going on, nation? Today I'm going to do a product review on the Adidas FitSmart Armband. Now, I do have product reviews on the exclusive content section of muscularstrength.com, so if you haven't checked those out, be sure to make your way over to the site and see them. But I wanted to start doing more product reviews on my YouTube channel as well. For this year, the first one's going to be on the Adidas FitSmart Armband. You guys can check it out right here, and I actually have it on my wrist right here. This is actually a band that's, I wouldn't say it's made exclusively for runners, but it was made with the intent to help those of you who are either recreational or professional runners really up your game and be able to track your results. For me, I'm not much of I guess a professional runner. I'm more of a recreational runner. For me, if I'm going to do any kind of cardio, I'm going to go on the treadmill and I'm going to do maybe some HIIT cardio training, some high intensity interval training, and I'll do maybe 15 to 25 minutes. And my main goal is to make sure that while I'm in a calorie surplus focusing on lean gains, that I'm able to stay lean and not put on too much fat. Because if I see that I'm getting too fluffy as I'm going throughout my weeks and eating and trying to gain muscle, that's not the kind of look that I like to have. And so when doing interval training on a treadmill, I guess you do have access to the handles that you can grab to check what your heart rate is. You can see your own time on the display screen, and normally what I'll do is I'll do like a fast-paced jog for a minute, and then I'll do a sprint well, not a sprint, but like a faster run. Maybe like if the treadmill goes to 12, I'll put on like 9 or 10 and do that for 2 minutes, and then go back down to 1 minute for a slow-paced jog, and then I'll repeat that for the 15 to 25 minutes, however much time I plan on doing cardio for that day. I wanted to make sure I tried out the armband for at least a month before I gave you guys my input on it, and doing the HIIT cardio sessions on the treadmill with the armband versus without it, if you don't have it, obviously you're utilizing the treadmill for everything. I personally hate having to grab the handles to see what my heart rate is to make sure it's in the target zone that I want it to be in. With the armband on the display screen here, you can actually track your heart rate and how many calories you're burning right here on this screen as you're running. That makes it a lot easier, a lot more user-friendly. And now transitioning from being on a treadmill to outside, obviously if you're outside, you really have no indication of what your heart rate is or how long you've been running or what your intervals are, how far you're going, how many calories you're burning. And this watch does all of that. This armband does all of that for you. Now, when I run outside, for me, running is more of a therapeutic type thing. I like using the treadmill better if I'm doing HIIT training because I can just kind of pace myself better with the times and the speed. But if I'm going to go for a run outside, I do get a little worried because if I'm trying to focus on lean gains and I'm trying to build muscle, if I say I'm planning to go for like a 4-mile run, sometimes I just get in the zone and I want to do like a full, 8 miles, and I'll double the amount of time I'm doing. But having this armband on, I'm able to at least see how far I've gone, how many calories I've burned, and if I need to adjust my meal plan when I get home to make up for that extra time that I ran outside, I'm able to do that because this would give me a good indication of how many calories I'm burning. But aside from that, because I'm not running outside too often, especially right now where it's winter time here, I'll say that for me personally, one of the best uses that I'm getting out of this band is during my actual workouts, my actual, muscle gain routines in the gym. There's an app that you put on your phone, and we'll talk about that in a second, that directly links to the band through Bluetooth. And so what I did was I did a screenshot of my last workout. I did a superset of chest, back, and abs. I trained for 1 hour and 40 minutes. I burned about 815 calories, and then I was able to also track my heart rate on the watch while I was there as well. And because the watch will tell you the time, like how long you've been training for, as well as what your heart rate is, it kind of kept me on track. And if people were talking to me, I would look at my watch and I'd just be like, oh, my heart rate's going down, I gotta go train. And it was kind of like they just said, okay, see you later. They weren't taking it personal if I had to cut them off mid-sentence. And I kind of like that. It kind of gave me like an excuse to say, hey, get out of my face, I gotta do my set real quick. And then also, as you guys know, I like training with specific rest intervals. So instead of always having to try to find a clock and watch the minute hand, I can just look at the digital one on my wrist and say, okay, time to lift again, time to jump into my next set. To kind of wrap all of that up, for those of you who are always asking me how many calories my workouts burn, I can give you guys now a better estimate of how many calories you can expect to burn if you do my workouts. And that's actually the thing I'm most excited about to continue to use the FitSmart armband, is I can take it to the gym, I can film a routine for you guys, and it's just one more piece of information that I can feed to you to make sure that you're training hard, hitting your workouts, and you know a guesstimate of how many calories you might burn. But enough about me, let's talk a little bit more about the product and what else you can do with it. Now, it costs about $150, which isn't too bad for everything that it does. And like I said, it comes with an app that you can download on your phone. And when you buy the armband, there's two sizes. There's a large and a small. Mine's a large. And if you go and buy this in the store, on the back of the box, there's actually a measurement right here. And you can actually hold your wrist to it to see what size you need, which I think is a pretty cool feature to have on the box. Now, to charge the armband, it comes with this charger. It doesn't come with this. This is actually the charger for my cell phone. But what you do is you just put the watch on here. It has a magnet, it sticks to it, and then this plugs into your computer. What I like to do is I'll just plug it into this and then plug it into the wall if I need to as well. The battery time is about 5 hours, which is plenty of time to get a workout in. You can probably use it 2 to 3 days in a row without having to worry about the battery dying. So just make sure you charge it every 2 days if you plan on using it all the time. If you're gonna be using the workouts that come with it, now remember, this is an app that's mainly used for those of you who are professional recreational runners. And so although you can choose what type of fitness run you want to do, whether it's running, fitness, or sport, it's still tracking, you know, your running pace. If you click fitness, it's not going to give you like a list of workouts to do in the gym. It's going to help you track your pace based on what your overall goal is, if that goal is running, fitness, or sports. What I normally do is the free workout, and when you click that, it syncs to the armband, and then once it syncs together, you can actually watch your phone in real time too, to see how many calories you're burning, what your time is, and all that stuff. If you're using one of the miCoach programs that's on here, and they're pretty good programs too, and what they're good for is for those of you who maybe don't know what to do to keep yourself on track, or maybe you're a beginner, or maybe you're just someone who needs a little kick in the butt to stay on track when you're doing your runs. Because I mean, let's be honest, if you're outside running or on a treadmill, it's very easy just to be like, you know what, I'm just gonna turn that down, and then I'm just gonna go a little slower. And you know, it's really easy to just kind of kick down the intensity of your runs. With a device like this, what it does for you, and it'll do this for you whether you're doing a coached workout or a free workout, on the side right here, it lights up on the side. If it lights up green, it means you're in your target heart rate of where you're supposed to be. If it lights up yellow, then you need to slow down. If it lights up blue, you need to speed up. And if it lights up red, then you're really outside of that target heart rate and you gotta slow down a lot. And little things like that help us stay on track and keep us on pace when we're trying to get a nice hardcore workout in. So I thought that was pretty cool. Now, as far as comfortability, the band is actually extremely soft. One of my main concerns was when I went to the gym, because for someone like me, where when I get a pump, it's actually a pretty big pump and I get really vascular, and I was worried that it would cut circulation to my arm. And I didn't really have a problem with that. I think one time I had to just kind of adjust it a little bit and just make it a little wider to make it fit better after I started getting pumped up. So that wasn't really a big deal. It wasn't uncomfortable. I didn't even really notice that it was there. The only thing that I didn't like was I was in the middle of doing incline chest presses, and I think what happens is if I'm holding my breath, obviously we hold our breath if we're doing, you know, an intense lift to keep our core nice and tight. If you're holding your breath, it actually tries to find your heart rate, and when it does that, it vibrates. And sometimes in the middle of pressing or doing a movement, and the watch vibrates, it gets distracting. I mean, even if I can't turn it off, it's not distracting to the point where it's super irritating, but it can be a little distracting. So I don't want you guys like, you know, overhead pressing a ton of weight and then your wrist vibrates and you drop the weight on your head. Like, just be aware that it might vibrate and don't let it freak you out. But overall, I really like it. I'm actually excited to be incorporating it into future videos. I'm excited that I'm going to be able to tell you guys how many calories you could possibly burn when doing one of my workouts. And like I said, for those of you who are looking for a little kick in the butt during your cardio sessions, this is a really great tool to have in your arsenal to make sure that you're giving it everything you've got. So I hope you guys enjoyed my product review of the Adidas FitSmart armband. If you guys want to check out more information about it, I'll put a link in the info section below. Be sure to like and subscribe, and if you have any suggestions for future product reviews, be sure to let me know in the comment section below. And as always, more good stuff coming soon. See you guys.